back around 2001 or so, when Rita joined H&R Block. And so we did some work together on their H&R Block headquarters project. So I've known Rita for a number of years, introduced her to Rotary, and she decided to become a Rotarian. So that's really great that there's a little business relationship, and then now she's a Rotarian. She's been with H&R Block since 2001, and she was kind of really the point person along, I know with others on the team, but she really handled a lot of the day-to-day operations facilities for H&R Block on this particular project. And then Julie Robinson, who I believe joined in 2005, right before they moved into this building, was handling all the facility, space planning, all those items that you can imagine when I believe H&R Block at the time was planning almost 2,000 employees, but I think they ended up around 1,500 or so when they moved into this space 10 years ago. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Rita.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Some of you have seen the building for the first time, maybe. Some of you have been here before, but Julie and I are particularly proud of the building because we lived it for several years of our life. And it was a very exciting project and one that I was thrilled to be part of, because there'll probably never be another opportunity like that for me again. So, again, we're very proud of it. So just for a little bit of history, some of you may know this, some of you may not, but H&R Block has been in business over 60 years now, and they started on Main Street in Kansas City. Then in about 82, we moved to 4400 Main Street, which is where we stayed. The building expanded over time while we were there, and we stayed until 2006 when we moved into this building. We also occupied 6 or so lease spaces around the city at the same time, so we had our population spread around. We had to drive to meetings and everything, and now we just have to take an elevator, and people still whine about that to get to meeting. But then this vision of this building, or our new headquarters, came on the scene around late 2001 and 2002, and we started with it was me and one of our leadership team now that Karen Orozco, who you'll see a little video in a bit. That we're sort of on the early stages of planning, and we had, of course, a team of brokers. We did some site selection. We started with actually 31 sites and narrowed down to this site, which was not my decision. It made me very happy that we stayed downtown Kansas City on Main Street. So we're going to show a very short clip of progression of the building coming up out of the ground. It's just kind of cool. So if we can get this to work. You have to watch fast. If any of you remember, there was hardly anything down here on our site when we started.
Who designed it?
The architect at the time was 360 Architecture. Jay Dunn was the general contractor.
Have you guys been pleased with no corners?
Yeah, we liked it. We wanted our CEO, Ty Markers, wanted an iconic presence on the skyline, and we knew we couldn't get it with height. So he was really the one that wanted this design, and I think it was the right decision. So, okay, Chris, come on. So Julie's came on our project. We did all the programming, worked with the architect, all the programming and space planning and interior design. She has a degree in interior design, which I do not. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that.
So can everybody hear me? Teamwork and collaboration were the main goals of our office interiors. As Rita had said, we were in multiple locations, different kinds of office setups, and we wanted to get everybody standardized into the facility and promote those goals of teamwork and collaboration. So right now, we have a mix of corporate and call center associates occupying our space. Originally, we only had our corporate associates, but we have since moved in several groups of call center associates into our facility. And they occupy the 15 floors of what we call the tower space in the building. We've limited the amount of exterior offices in the building so that we can give the majority of our associates those great views of downtown, which of course are changing because we've got other buildings going up around downtown, like the One Light and the Two Light building. And lots of other construction projects going around too with the P&L building and the additional construction there. Our workstations are set up in a tripod, a 3-associate pod, where they have little windows in between them so that you can either be collaborative with your coworker, or you can close those little windows if you need to do some headstand work. And we also have some little lounge seating areas that are scattered throughout the building that allow for impromptu meetings for team members to have. We have over 160 meeting spaces in the facility. They range in size from a 2-person huddle room to a 120-person training room, which is the room that we're in here today. The room that's on the top left-hand corner up there, that's our boardroom. So when our board is in town, that room gets used. And then we have another room that's called the bowl room, the fish bowl room, because it's all glass. No, not a private meeting happens in there. Those are just fun collaborative spaces for folks to meet in. And we also share the Copagan stage with the Kansas City Rotary Theater, which is a partnership that we have with them. And they joined the project after the project was already started. It was before I came on board, but they had to kind of put the brakes on it a little bit, design a theater, and add it to the space of the building. So that's what happens when you're doing a design build. Sometimes things change, and you've got to react and come up with a new plan. So we've got a great partnership with the Kansas City Rotary Theater, and it allows us to have large group meetings for our associates in that space. We also have a full-service cafeteria. They serve breakfast and lunch, as well as catering meetings, such as today's meeting, and evening events and things like that groups have in the building. They serve over 11,000 lunches every month to our associates, and it's also open to the public. So if you're downtown, you're welcome to come in here. It's probably the least expensive, best food you'll get downtown. And we also have a state-of-the-art fitness center. We did not originally have a fitness center in the building, but after a few different changes in our CEOs, we had a new one come in, and he asked where was the fitness center, and so we built a fitness center. We had some vacant space, and so in 2013 we built this fitness center, and it's got great equipment, and it also has a classroom where we have an outside vendor that comes in and teaches 14 different classes a week for our associates that have joined the gym. And they teach classes from yoga to cardio, kickboxing, and all kinds of fun stuff. That's just kind of a high-level overview of all the spaces that we have in the facility.
So, as I mentioned, we moved in 2006, so we are celebrating 10 years in the building. A few weeks ago, we had a celebration in our lobby. Mayor Slybeams came and actually presented a proclamation to us on our anniversary. And Mayor Kate Barnes was also here because she was very key in this whole development. And we went through this process, getting us down here and all the things around us that came up afterwards. So, and we had some other dignitaries and some of the project people, so it was kind of a fun day. And as part of that, a little video was put together that was showed that day and shown that day. And so I thought you guys might get a kick out of seeing it. It's not very long, about 5 minutes.
Rita, turn your volume on too, please. Turn your volume up on the player. On the player.
Very loud.
Leonard.
Yep, we can start over.
Apologize for that.
That's why we had our trustees.
New tonight, H&R Block celebrates the grand opening of its new headquarters.
This new HQ has a new 500,000 square foot complex at 13th and Main.
Community and business leaders attended tonight's grand opening of the headquarters. Nearly 1,600 associates from 6 former locations in the metro area are now working at this new headquarters.
Good morning, Stacy. Good morning, Anthony. Leonard. Good morning. Good morning, John. Ron. Good morning. It's like family here, so I enjoy it. Good morning, Andrew.
We're in the heart of Kansas City, and we're surrounded by this incredible entertainment district.
Power and Light District, which is pretty much right next door. There's lots of shops, lots of restaurants.
You really can feel the energy. I don't know how you measure it or describe it other than there's just good energy here. I think immediately people know that if they come to work here, they're going to be in the heart of downtown.
We knew we needed one place where we could continue to grow together and come together. So we started a search that took us a year to find just the perfect location that met all of our criteria and that had the right economic incentives and financial picture, and in the end that could help us revitalize downtown and be part of something bigger than ourselves, which spoke to the heritage that Henry and Richard Block had always instilled in Block and the way we give back to the community.
We looked at 31 sites before we narrowed down to this location, and they were all around the city. They were green spaces, they were existing buildings.
Trying to envision what putting a building in the middle of existing property is going to look like, and using that vision combined with understanding the bigger perspective of what's happening in an area.
And here we are. It was a 5-year ride from start to finish.
What kept me going through all those decisions was trying to think about, stay focused on, this is what we're trying to create for all of our associates. This is what it can be like in an environment that can actually lead to better business results and make it a great place to work, where we can attract the very best people and want them to be part of the Block family and in the story going forward.
It's a hometown team, and I think that's very attractive to people here.
I was born in China. I lived in Cleveland, Los Angeles, Columbus, Ohio, and New Orleans, Louisiana. And now I'm here in Kansas City with H&R Block. Kansas City has a very Midwest city feel.
What was important to us when we picked this site was we wanted to ensure that we had an iconic presence in Kansas City because this is our home.
It was really a moment because it was exciting and people loved it. We didn't know what the reaction would be.
It's the energy and the vibe of downtown. I mean, you walk outside and there are people walking, and you can walk across the street to eat lunch, you can go to Power and Light, you can hear Power and Light, and it's a beautiful building, and I think people want to be attached and connected to a brand like that. In the Kansas City area, I don't think there's anybody that would say they don't know who H&R Block is.
Kimberly, Theo, good morning. Morning, Scott. Morning, Fonda. Morning, Bob. Morning, John. Morning, Jewel. Morning, Kevin. Good morning, Oscar. Vincente. Morning, John. 87 shopping days. Happy Wednesday. Have a great day.
Shows you how much has happened down here in 10 years, because like I said, when we came down, the Rent Center wasn't here, President Hotel had lost their financing in redeemed it after we made the decision to come down, so power and light wasn't building around us, so we really feel like and really believe we were the catalyst to making a lot of this happen down here. We're really proud of it. And I think you can also realize why I'm not a movie star by watching it. But before we open up for questions, we thought it'd be fun to share just some factoids here. The building's 17 stories high, approximately 525,000 rentable square feet. We don't have a 13th floor. That's kind of an interesting thing to know. There's 167,000 square feet of glass on the exterior of the building. We had one of the deepest excavations in Kansas City for a project, measuring 74 feet at its deepest point. And it's hard to believe this, but over 20,000 truckloads of dirt and rock were removed. We have 5 levels of parking under our building, so it was a great big giant hole that we removed very well. And that was 245 truckloads of dirt and rock coming out of the site every day.
We have over 69,000 tons of concrete used on the project. It's a concrete structure for the building. Over 1.9 million pounds of stone and 80,000 square feet of natural stone used in the building interior and exterior. And we've got 530 miles of rebar to support all that concrete, and over 4.5 million feet of cable that are used in the facility.
Anybody have any questions? We'll try to answer.
What did they find when they were excavating down 74 feet? Nothing?
Oh, well, one thing that happened, chime in whenever you want, Julie, but one thing that happened, well, actually, there were 2 things that were kind of interesting. When they started excavating, they realized that all the, pretty much, big percentage of all the telecommunications, cabling, and such ran right down the middle of our site. So they had to quickly figure out how they were gonna dig this hole and not disturb any of that. They could not move it. It was not feasible to relocate it. So at that moment, now, I think maybe later it was, but at any rate, they had to really dig on both sides. So for a while, we had this sort of alley going down the middle of the site with a big hole on either side. And so the other thing was, we were originally supposed to have another layer or level of garage underneath our building. We only have garage underneath our building, and not underneath our tower, but underneath our low rise. And they hit what's called Fontana Shale, and if they would have broke through that, we would have had water problems. So we had to quickly figure out where we're gonna park our people, right? Because we had more than we're gonna fit on the 4 levels, which we have P5, but it's really, anyway, it's 5 levels, it's supposed to be 6, sorry. So what we did was we partnered with the city, and so we parked some of our folks across at the Power and Light Garage in a partnership with them, and vice versa, they use our garage in the evenings for public parking. Does that kind of answer your question? There weren't like any cars or anything like that found that I'm aware of.
Chuck and I were talking before lunch a little bit about what an emotional linchpin this was for downtown, which is awesome to watch it go up. Back in the planning stages, maybe just a 2-part question here. I know that there was a second building, maybe slightly larger across the street, that was in the plans. Don't know what the comment is on that, but this may be part of that answer. If in fact there is reduction in some of the reporting functions for the IRS, what's the implication in H&R Block business going forward? With a postcard, if you will. Maybe those 2 events are connected, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, as far as the other site we're talking about, which is 124, which is the site that has the yard house on it, we do have air rights to that site, but, so we had an original design that might have gotten out there, but we haven't moved with any of that at this time. And then as far as the future, I mean, I don't have the answer to that. If that's what you're asking, you know, I mean, we have had our workforce flux up and down since we moved in, but we're pretty much, Julie can tell you, we're pretty fully occupied at the moment. So because we're seasonal, we have the building more full during our tax season and not, but we're not like sitting on a bunch of space in here. Does that, can I answer your question? Do you wanna add anything to that, Julie?
Rita, can you share if, what it costs to build a building like this?
It was about $140 million to build our property here. And we own our property, if anybody's interested in that.
Do you have any outside tenants? Do you occupy the whole building?
We have a couple of tenant spaces. We have a heater office on our main lobby, and that is our space we lease. And then the rep, of course, leases from us. And then we have our own tax office, which is our own business, and a tenant space. I think that's it, yeah.
David.
The partnership coming out with that. Were you guys putting in a big theater style, so we thought, wow.
Well, as Julie said, we had more of an auditorium plan, a functioning auditorium. I don't think it was as big as what we have now. We seat about 300, a little over 300 seats in our theater here. And I honestly don't know how that originated. I think our CEO either had relationships with Copenhagen and the rep, or, you know, I wasn't involved in those discussions. All we knew was Karen and I were charged to quickly get with the design team, and then Julie was involved later, and we switched from an auditorium to a full-blown performing arts theater, and Julie and I chose the seating. I mean, it was a huge redirection, so to speak. So, yeah.
Yeah, and an
David?
auditorium has a lot of different equipment
Yeah.
than a theater.
Yes.
David's up.
I've been in your building several times in the past, and am absolutely flabbergasted by the gentleman at the desk who greets all 1,600 of you by name. Do you plan to continue operating when he's no longer available?
I don't know, Frank's been with us a long time.
I think Al, and then we'll have Christie. Al?
I'm always interested in logos, and the block lettering, that makes sense. But the green, you're probably worldwide, so you wouldn't take green from American money, but that seems a little, maybe spring color. What, tell me about it, do you know?
John, Tammy, do you have any input on that one? You know, it was not always green. Has it been green as long as you've been here, Julie? But when I started, I don't remember that it was green, right?
Yeah, it's been black and white, it's been blue, and then
15 or 20 years ago, it switched.
it was red at one point as well. And then, 15 and 20 years ago, it switched to green. It was,
So just during the
Pretty green, of
rebranding,
course.
that's what the marketing experts came up with, so. Sorry, I don't have a better answer, but.
Christie.
Well, being on Parking and Transportation Commission down here, would like to know, how are your employees enjoying the streetcar? Because we're still putting 6,500 people a day on the streetcar, so it's a lot of your employees using it and enjoying it.
Yeah, I think that they are now that the construction is done.
Yes.
It was a challenge for a while, getting in and out of the garage and the regular lane closures and things like that. But now that it's completed, I think our associates are really enjoying being able to get out there and use the streetcar.
And the team was really good. We had a close relationship with them through the whole project. One night, they actually had to shut our water off all night, which is huge for us, and Julie understands this better than I do, because she has the engineering side of things. But we run our building with chilled water, and so we can't be without water. So it was kind of a tense time, but we got through it. Yep. No problems. If you want to speak a little bit about the artwork?
Oh, yeah.
Because they might be interested.
We really did talk about that. When, you know, Henry Block obviously is a huge supporter of the arts. And so we had a big collection of artwork in our previous locations. And so when we moved here, we knew we were gonna have a lot more walls that we needed to fill up. So we partnered with Paul Durrell of the Leopold Gallery as our art consultant. And we did a call for artists, for local artists. So Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, and Kansas. And we put out this call for artists. Artists applied, they brought in their artwork, and then we made selections and purchased the artwork from local artists to fill up the building, along with moving all of the rest of the artwork that we had previously in our collection. I should have added that, but we've probably got 400, pieces of original artwork in the facility.
And in our lobby alone, the one that I think is really fascinating is up on the city directionally challenged, but it's called Bridges, and it's actually 3 bridges. It's a big wooden art piece. And then the blown glass one that hangs there by the stairway are kind of my favorites, but yeah.
And my favorite is back in the stairwell back here. It's a big mobile. It is not, but the artist that did it's called Fence Line, the one that's hanging above here, the atrium lobby, he did study Witchabuli.
Any other questions? Susan?
We did not go for certification. At the time we built the building, we could have applied for LEED Silver, but it wasn't something that our leadership team was interested in pursuing, but that's what our architects tell us we could have gotten.
I'm sorry, Julie, what was that question?
Are we LEED certified?
Okay.
I think we've made some initiatives. We're still not LEED certified, but we've certainly made some energy saving initiatives.
Right, and we are partnering with the city on the mayor's city energy project, so we are one of the founding partners with that project as well.
Last question, Henry.
You want to lift up your relationship with the Block Foundation, is it what they all do out of here as well, the Cancer Foundation?
Yes, the foundations are both occupy space in this facility, so we grant them space in the building. So we could call them tenants, but we don't make them pay rent.
Yeah, and they do a lot of great work.
Yes.
The Kansas Foundation, and then just the H&R Block Foundation.
Grateful. Rita and Julie, thank you again. Please thank you.